The Neil Diamond Musical, A Beautiful Noise, the uplifting true story, featuring all the songs you love from his Grammy Award-winning career. October 21st through 26th at Des Moines Civic Center. On sale at dmpa.org.
Hey guys, welcome back. InCYde Zone, presented by Wyffels Hybrids. I'm Jacqueline Cordova, and joined as always by Colin Newell, Jake Remsburg, and Jirehl Brock. Tough weekend for Iowa State on the road, unfortunately. They lost to Colorado 24-17. That's two back-to-back tough road losses there.
Don't you guys just love being sports fans? I mean, goodness gracious. I
didn't see this one coming.
I keep putting my weekends up to the Tennessee Titans for some outcome on the weekend, and the Titans are terrible. So, I mean, I wish I didn't like sports sometimes. I wish that, yesterday, Saturday, I just, went to the pumpkin patch and went on a walk around Gray's Lake and had a nice relaxing evening playing a board game at night. But no. I consume myself all weekend with sports, but I'm getting better at not emotionally getting attached to wins and losses. So we're getting there.
Remy, next week you can do all those things.
I know, I can.
Yeah.
That's good. We got
a report back to us on how your weekend was, if you were happier after all that or not.
You know what we need? We need a pumpkin spice latte. That's what I need.
Ooh, that sounds so good, Jake.
I know. It's that time of year. We talk about it every year on this podcast. It's pumpkin spice
PSL?
lattes. Yeah, a little PSL.
Have to have something to perk us up after the last couple of weekends that we've had.
Yeah, I mean, I'll just jump right into it. I will preface, as we were discussing before, we're not going to sit here and beat to death what everybody's been, we've all talked about it. It's all over Twitter. Everybody's frustrated. That's definitely evident, and that's not even just fans or us. The team was definitely frustrated after in the post game. They obviously were very defeated, but I mean, guys, what the heck was going through your head? Initial thoughts watching that yesterday?
Yeah, that might say it right there.
Silence.
The silence. Yeah, it's tough to lose. These guys only get 12 guaranteed opportunities every year, and losing's not fun. They're all competitors. We're all competitors. That's why we play sports. That's why we enjoy it, because winning's really fun and losing sucks. So, just overall picture, giant picture. You just, when you leave a game, I know everyone wants to talk about the no PI call, which I don't even know where to begin on that. But Campbell always told us, when the game is decided, you let the game be decided by a ref's decision, you're not in a good spot to begin with. So you want to make sure you can control a game enough where that doesn't come to be an issue. And yesterday it was, and we're just not clicking on all cylinders. And when you play a team like Colorado and they recruit very talented, skillful players, that you have to be on all cylinders regardless of their record. It's one of those teams where any given Saturday they can look like one of the best teams in the country or one of the worst teams in the country. So that's kind of my brief synopsis of what happened yesterday.
Yeah, personally, I listen to the media more now than I did when I was a player, and you'd always sneak out and you'd hear some of the stuff, right? Like Coach Campbell's post-game press conference, and I can guarantee you it was probably a similar messaging in the locker room, maybe a little bit more, direct in some areas, but, putting a lot of blame on himself, right? Like, clearly I haven't done something right. There's something along the lines of, I didn't prepare the guys and things like that. And I remember when Coach Campbell, after a game, we would play like that, and Coach Campbell would go to the media and you'd hear something like that, or he'd take extreme ownership of it. Like, first of all, that's an awesome leader. But second of all, it's like that one almost hurts worse hearing him say that than ripping you, because he gave you every opportunity, right? Like, he's catering to the people. He is all about the leadership and the culture in that team, and like giving power to people in leadership roles. And then when you're in those situations and all of a sudden, like, he's like, you know what, it's on me. Like, I didn't prepare you in some way. As a player, for me, that was harder to hear, because there's like 9 million different things that I can look back watching the film and go like, man, like, if I would have done this as an offensive lineman and made this block, and everybody's feeling the exact same way right now, we score 400 and have 440 yards of offense and you're 2 of 12 on third down. Like, you need to win third down. So there's so many situations like that, like where as a player, you feel that exact same way. Like, that messaging for me, I always thought was almost tougher than just rip my butt and let's get on to the next thing. Like, let's fix it and flush it. So I think that's one of the ways that Campbell's so good at what he does is he's able to get people to move the needle. We have a bye week, so there's a ton of opportunity for them to go out and fix those things. Third down efficiencies, being in good spot after first and second down so you can convert on third down, big plays, all those things. Like, things that we've kind of lost over the last couple of weeks. Those shot plays, it would be awesome to have some of those big chunk yards back in the game plan, or executed, I should say.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think you guys said a lot of it. I mean, from a player standpoint, I guess getting the field stormed on you 2 weeks in a row is never a good feeling. Obviously, not even getting the field stormed on you once is anything that you want to happen. You feel it more emotionally in a loss when stuff like that does happen. And this season right now is kind of feeling like that season. I think it was 21 after we came off of the big year when we went to the Big 12 championship, and now, the entire expectations and everything like that. And people are looking at you like you're the team to go get. And now, you're the field stormed on you, and all of that is just making everything is just a little tighter. Everybody's just a little tighter. Maybe the building's a little tighter right now. And I think this is a great time for a bye week. Rarely do you have 2 bye weeks like this. This is because you played week 0, you have 2 bye weeks, and I think this is a great time. If we had a game next week, who knows how that could have rolled into it. I think this is a good week to be able to just refresh. Everybody just come clean, hold everybody accountable. What do we need to do to get better? Because we can't keep going down this road. So that's what you hope to see from the team. Obviously, don't want to harp on too much of the stuff that happened in this game, because that's just not Iowa State football. We know that. Something's going on, and we've been in the building before, and you say don't let that outside noise get in. Obviously, you hear some of it, so I'm not going to sit up here and be one of those voices. But as a player, you do hear some of that stuff, and you just have to try and stay in the building, keep everything out, and just focus on getting better, because this isn't what anybody wants. Obviously, injuries and other things play into it, but you go into the game with what you got, and you gotta make it work.
Yeah, you really, the building, especially, but the bye week is good, right, Jirehl? But I mean, you have to sit on 2 back-to-back losses for a whole week, and you don't have an opportunity to go out and correct it and fix it as quick as you'd like. But you'll really figure out, how much you really like this game during these periods. How do you bounce back? Are you gonna be down in the dumps, or are you gonna get back to work? And it's it's hard to say, but it's gonna be super easy for some of these guys to just throw in the white flag right now and just be like, oh, this season's chalked. But there is still a lot of things to be played for, and you never know how things shake out. And so, you just got to control everything you control into, a bye week to watch the film. And like Newell, you were talking about earlier, it's going to be so easy to watch the film yesterday and be like, oh, if I would have stayed on that linebacker for 2 more seconds, I would have creased for a touchdown, just all those types of things. So for sure, tough point in the season right now.
I think.
Go ahead, Newell. I
think what one other kind of unique thing is if you're a freshman, right, you're a redshirt guy, you're going into your first college football season. This part of the season is a really interesting part of the season too, for a couple of reasons, because here in Iowa, they got 2 games left in the regular season. They are finishing up their season in high school football where, you're like at the halfway point basically of college football season. So you're going to be in that first time. So like some of those young guys, like making sure that they're staying involved, staying active, and realizing like football season is a lot longer when you play college football than high school football is an adjustment. So like making sure you even have some veteran guys that are like kind of come along those guys to make sure that they're continuing to develop, because obviously that's the future. It's a unique part of the season when you're a redshirt guy and you're not playing, and you're used to being the guy in your high school team, and now it's all of a sudden like, wow, this season's way longer than anything I've ever been in, and I'm also not playing.
But their job is super important.
So important.
Like
showing the scout team look.
Oh, the scout team looks. You need it. So you need those guys to buy into the program real quick. And it's super easy to do when you're winning. It's not super easy as a young cat when you're losing games and showing up to practice. But you got to have that buy-in from the scout guys. And
yeah, you win Saturdays on Tuesday and Wednesdays.
Absolutely, you do. So obviously we don't watch practice anymore, but I have to assume that, at least in my 5 years in that program, scout teams are always, fostered and bred to be, super effective in practice.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and I feel like the big question that fans are really having is, having watched the offense yesterday, I'm curious what you guys have to say when it comes to, why isn't the offense putting it all together? It's just very kind of up and down, inconsistent. You look at the stats, it's 441 yards of total offense, 236 rushing, which was a season high. And then you look at the rest and it's like 2 for 12 on third down and a red zone interception. So.
To me, it just looks like it's just a little bit off here and there. I think that first drive yesterday, I thought that was a guaranteed point scoring drive, and it just, it turns out, it wasn't, and we're just a hair off. Not executing on third downs is so critical. Every level of football will preach third downs because they're very important. And not only that, but first and second down are equally as important. So where are you on third down? Is it third and longs, or is it third and 2 and 3? There's a huge difference, So I think that we were in a ton of third and longs yesterday. So that's an interesting stat that doesn't necessarily show up on a box score, but these coaches are preaching first and second down. Tuesday practices are first and second down. That's what you cover the base of your game plan on Tuesdays. Is first and second down. We don't get to third down until halfway through the Wednesday practice, and then we hit third down. So, I would love to know, the stats. You probably could ask AI nowadays, how efficient were we on first and second down, and that leads to how efficient you're going to be on third down. It's pretty obvious when you're not efficient on first and second down, you're not going to be efficient on third down. But, there's good things. You see good things out there, and then you're not capitalizing on your moments. And Campbell always talks about capitalizing on a moment. Abu going up the sideline, the ball was just a little off. Probably would have been a touchdown. You get a ball right, in your chest and you drop it. So it's just those little things that pile up that lead to not executing when you need to, especially in the red zone or just on third downs in general.
Yeah, I think you're spot on there. Obviously, everyone's going to see the third down statistic, and I feel like, obviously, there were a lot of times we were extremely efficient on offense, putting up 440 yards on offense, right? It's those little things like Coach Campbell's, his post-game press conference, you can't keep shooting yourself in the foot. You are rolling, and then all of a sudden it's one thing sets you behind, and then all of a sudden it's okay, is that going to be the thing that one thing, are you able to bounce back from that? Or is that going to let it keep on tumbling into another thing that goes wrong? So I feel like we were moving the ball pretty well. It was awesome to see Abu. I thought he played a great game, and I thought that offensive line really did play pretty well yesterday. So, it's that, hey, that one bad thing is going to happen because there's bad stuff that's going to happen every single football game. And then how do we get back on pace after that? And I feel like that's something, obviously, that's, it's good that it's hey, our offense doesn't work at all. It is working, and it's just going to be hey, we got to make sure we execute these little things and stay in third and manageable, and then that it's going to change, and we're going to be right back where we were.
I'm really glad to hear both of you say that, because I thought it might have just been me, but when you have that little rock in your shoe that you just can't get out, I feel like every drive, we just have a little rock in our shoe that we can't get out, whether it be a penalty here and at the wrong time, or a drop pass or a drop ball here, or maybe a bad snap and we're struggling to get the ball off the ground or something like that. There's just one play that kind of just ruins the whole drive, and we just can't get rid of that right now. And it's just little inconsistencies here and there that can set you back like that, to where your offense just can't get a rhythm, just can't get going. But you're right. I thought Abu played really well yesterday. I thought the O-line did a really good job. Obviously, Abu having to take majority of the snaps at running back because Carson's still being out. I think he did a really good job. 177 yards on 24 carries. That's an average of 7 yards a carry. I thought he played really well. But like I said, there was just little drops, flags here and there that just didn't allow the offense to get a rhythm and get going.
Oh, penalties, man. Oh my gosh.
It's the true snowball effect, right? Like you get one of those going and you just get out of that little bit of stretch. And, I think back to my time, like when Iowa State was playing our best, when we were rolling on offense, it was like, hey, you may have been in one of those situations because it's unavoidable, right? You play sport, you're going to be in a situation where you have that little rock in your shoe that you got to shake. And it's one player, one position group or something going out there and just like changing one little thing and providing that little bit of spark. And before you know it, like, everything's rolling again. So it's almost like just that one little spark. I think Abu maybe sparked that a little bit, and I'm excited to see like coming out of this, like, hey, how do we respond? And we've shown we can do the big plays. We've shown we can do everything. It's just like, hey, let's get the confidence rolling and let it start trucking ahead.
Yeah, you get into so many situations yesterday where it might have been a 3rd and short, and you get like a penalty for a false start. It's killer, but. Absolutely, you need the spark plug, because that's a huge difference maker. I think it still comes from our tight ends on offense. I think, you look for a spark. I think we have to look to get the tight ends to football, and I think that's an equalizer for the offense. As if they're rolling and they're involved, then it opens things up for the run game, or opens things up for the wide receivers. So
Abu had 177 total rushing yards on 19 carries. And he definitely was like that spark for
absolutely
the team. And if I found this and pulled it up correctly, as far as like efficiency for each down, it's like an average of like 5.9 yards per play on first down, 4.1 for second down, 4.4 for third down. And then for fourth down, it was 0% conversion, 2 plays, 0 yards.
See, that's just the crazy thing to me. It sounds so good.
You know what that means? That means penalties are just popping up here and there, which is pushing us behind the sticks, where no matter if we do get 4 yards, it's not making up for what we lost. I was thinking about it because the offense... Our defensive motto has kind of been "Don't break," and I feel like other teams have adapted that against us, and we're not kind of in that mode right now because we've allowed a lot of big plays, but haven't really made a lot of big plays to score. At least, like Coach Campbell said that one week, that we always get down to the 1 yard line. I think right now, because we have some pretty good explosive plays, but they're never to score. They're always to get us in the field goal range, and then we just can't finish a drive unless we're like in the between the 5.
Well, and clearly Kyle Conradi being out is also making a big impact. I mean, I can't even remember the kicker's name yesterday.
Chase, right?
I think so.
Chase. Yeah.
But it's just like the kicking situation is just clearly making a big impact there too. Just not having, your clutch kicker in there.
Carson Rhodes.
I was about to say that, Jirehl. We had an O lineman kick a kickoff, which was a first, and I want to know the story behind this. It probably wasn't, I don't know if it was asked in the post game media. it probably wasn't because it's just not a time and place. I'm hoping someone asked Campbell the story behind how we got an old lineman to kick off a kickoff in a football game.
They said he was a punter in high school.
Is that kind of what it was?
So I'm guessing he just has some sort of skill that, like...
Has the skill.
I just think back to our days, right? I mean, I was talking about this, and, like, so they don't wear knee braces anymore like when we were there.
Yeah.
Like, could you imagine trying to be the, like, O-lineman? Like, you couldn't have kicked off in knee braces.
No. You could barely lift your leg in knee braces.
Yeah, so it was, like, kind of crazy to see, like, an O-lineman out there, like, redshirt freshman from Nevada, like, going out there and kicking off. Like, that's pretty cool.
Awesome. It's awesome. If there's any, it was when I was watching the game, like, that was kind of the point of the game where, like, oh, my gosh, like, this is not going to happen today. And I did get a good chuckle out of that. So
yeah,
I'm not going to lie, though. I'm not going to lie. He kind of booted that thing, though. It was back further because Tyler Moore got a penalty. But if it was where it was normally, it probably would have been a touchback.
I'll say this too. That Chase Smith, right? Like, clearly he got injured at some point. Like, came in still at the end of the game there after that. Like, obviously didn't do the kickoff, made a field goal. Like, he's done solid what we needed to him. But you're right. Like, it's not that weapon that we have in Kyle Kennard. Like, where you cross the 50, you're like, okay, we're in field goal range. We got complete and utter confidence that he's gonna, like, drill it through there. But huge tip of the cap for him for, like, going out there and doing his job. Like, that's all you can ask of a guy that's a kicker.
Yeah.
Right.
Kicker's a tough position, Mm-hmm. It's you either execute or you don't, and everyone sees it. It's not like
you get so few opportunities.
Few opportunities, yep.
Well, and so in the post game, Campbell did bring up just the lack of detail that's kind of been the problem with them since the Arizona game. I'm just curious, what does detail actually mean when you're out there? Like, are we talking timing? Is it communication? Or is it something else?
Just literally the little things, like may it be not jumping off sides. I mean, may it not be false starting, or may it be drop balls, or just little things that don't seem so big when you look at the holistic like stats or anything of the game. But those, like we were talking about, those little things that just, those rocks in your shoe that just keep setting you back where you just can't get ahead.
I always think of it like you can have a perfect play, like as an offensive line, right? Like, offensive line's a little bit of a unique group because it's 5 people that have to work together as one all the time. Obviously 11 have to work together on offense as one to execute, but like you may have 4 guys go out there and have a perfect block and exactly how you drew it up, and one person like got caught up on a defensive end or a nose guard or something and just got the back half of the linebacker instead of the front half. And like, that was the play that was the block right there that was going to spring it. It's just like one little thing, right? Like, hey, maybe you're miscommunication and you go to the wrong person, and that person that you leave unblocked is the one that makes play. Like, still executed how you talked about it. It's just not what the coaches wanted you to go to. So like, stuff like that happens. And like, it just feels like that type of stuff can compound, just like we talked about in a good way. Just like it can be just those one-off little details like that just, you're like, dang, we're so close, but we're just tiny bit off that the normal person isn't going to see.
Yeah, I think that's a good way to put it. No, I also say, detail is kind of how Campbell has built his program. It's a word that is preached. And the simplest way I can put it, and I think this is how Campbell perceives it as well, is things that Iowa State football can control in a football game. And it's the things like these both of you guys have been talking about. It's catching, it's your footwork, it's we built this program by having to play the Oklahomas and Texas of the world, and we beat those teams because we controlled what we can control. We can't control when necessarily a tip ball goes in the air or a guy makes a good play, right? On the PI with Ben Bramer, that should have been a PI. That interception that guy made was just a good play. They had a couple catches, Colorado, that they just made good plays. You can't control how they're going to play, but the details is how you can control what you can control in the game. So it's all those little things, and that's how he's built his program. So whenever you hear Campbell say it's the details, it's the things that Iowa State football can control during a football game. Like they said, jumping off sides, the cadence, knowing your assignment. You can't control sometimes when you have Nick Benito across from you, who's the best defensive end in the country, but you can control your footwork and your hands and to help you win a rep against Nick Benito. And as we know, you'll know that Nick Benito is a very, very, very good football player.
Yeah.
And he makes millions and millions of dollars. But you can still win those reps by controlling the things you can control. So that's as easy as I can put it for a person that might not be super, football passionate like some of us are. So
I think the cool thing about it too is like it's literally life. Like these are like the things that you can control in life are the exact same things. Like Coach Campbell did such a great job of like instilling that into us. Like, hey, when you go to your job and like, someone's mad at you, you have to situation. It's like, how do you handle these situations? Like you directly learn from the game of football for these situations. So I think Coach Campbell did a really good job of that, of driving those lessons for people to use greater than football.
Absolutely. Oh my gosh, I use it every day. I say the same things. Control what you control every day. You can't control the
controllables.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's crazy. Like in real life, you see that stuff happen, and like
Yeah.
I can still hear like a Coach Campbell message. Like there'll be little things that happen. I'm like, oh my gosh, remember that? Like in the Gateway Hotel, and Coach Campbell had this, and
Man,
the man in the
Before
mirror.
the
team room. Yeah, I think about that.
That's funny. But also, it makes me think of the fact that when Chris was doing his event the other day, in the middle of his like answering a question or something, he like started his sentence exactly the same way that Matt Campbell answers questions, and I immediately just heard Campbell in my head.
It's crazy the impact he's had like across the Iowa State community, like even like the business world. Like people talk like Coach Campbell.
Just indirectly.
It's contagious.
Well, I want to give a shout out to our sponsors quick because we wouldn't be here without them. As you all know, InCYde Zone podcast is powered by our friends at Wyffels Hybrids. They are an independent Iowa-based and built on hard work. They are just like us here and, good old Cyclone fanatic. They know success comes down to details and discipline. They are... they have a commitment to farmers and supporting Iowa State, Cyclones supporting Cyclones. So look them up, check them out, learn more about them at wyffels.com. You spell it Wyffels. And of course, like we announced I think it was last week or 2 weeks ago now, Farm Story Meats. They are now supporting the InCYde Zone podcast, and you can support them. You're supporting local when you shop with Farm Story Meats. They're Iowa raised, farmer owned, and delivered straight to your door. So it's literally so convenient to order from them. They have all sorts of products, high quality beef, pork, and poultry. And like I said, they deliver here in the Midwest. You can explore all their other options on their website, which is farmstorymeats.com. And same, it's Cyclone supporting Cyclones. So go give them a shout out.
I think I'm going to have to order some meat for the bye week next week from Farm Story Meats. I'm placing an order today. I'll let you guys know what I order, but I'm gonna place an order for a meat box. I think.
Go get your meat.
Yeah.
And also, I have been seeing our friendly Wyffels ad on the television now too.
Yeah.
Big time. We've made it big time with Wyffels.
I see their billboards. I hear gears coming your guys' way too. It's great.
Let's go.
But like we've said, right, it's just so many details, and control what you can control. Well, what are you controlling? What do you control heading into the bye week? How does this team bounce the heck back? I mean, how do these players go into this bye week and really find a way of like, okay, how do you trust yourself? How do you trust your teammates? How do we get back to a good place to finish the season strong at a time when, it feels like it's slipping?
That was such a smooth podcast question transition, by the way. That was legit. Great job.
Thank you.
It's
It's not even scripted.
I know. That's the thing. I was like, that was perfect.
This is where the leadership is really going to kick in. There's going to have to be discussions of, what's going on. You're going to have to try and figure it out by talking with one another and actually holding each other accountable to what needs to be done, because you can't shy away from the truth right now. If this thing keeps going at the pace that it is, there's not going to be much of a season to fight for, especially for these seniors. That's what you got to be looking at now is, your why. Why do you want to be? Why are you doing this? And I think once you find your why, then you'll be able to bring this back around.
Yeah, I always thought in these situations, right? Like you go on a situation where like we expect to win every single game, right? Like you have some adversity that pops up, some situations happen, like you're not where you want to be. I have no doubt, like this team knows what they're capable of, right? Like it's kind of as a coach reminding them, hey, how good you are. Like we have to just go out there and execute the little things, the things that are the easy things. You're doing the hard things. You're making big plays. You're doing this, like showing up every day, making sure that you're communicating well, making sure you're catching the ball, making sure that you're making the right reads, making sure you're like it's the little things that become big things if you let them, kind of come to the surface. So they know what they can do. They know they can throw the ball deep. They know they have the people around them that they can do it. I think it's coming together and like, hey, we're still out here having fun playing football. We're getting to do this. We are on a really good team. We got a great staff. I think a bye week right now coming in and allowing these guys just to have fun and a little bit of time to just take a breath and not make it so stressful could be really, really good timed. Well timed.
Absolutely. That is a key thing that I think. It's easy to say like, oh, work harder, do better, whatever. But a bye week like this, just have some fun and your day to day. You don't have a game to stress about, and that's so important. The ability to try to have fun and just relax for a little bit. Obviously you're still going to practice, but that's a great point, Newell. Like it's super easy to get so drowned in like the feeling of stress and you have a big game and why are we losing and just relax. So that's, it's important for those players to do that. But other than that, I'm about to give you a message here that's probably going to sound very, similar to what's going to be spoken in Ames, Iowa in the next week and a half and 2 weeks. Is this season really has, it could go two ways now. There's still so much to play for. For sure, depending on, how you respond, you can end up in Memphis and the Liberty Bowl at 7-5. For sure, it could go that way. Or we can still, we can go the other way and respond to this and end up, where you want to be at the end of the year. So it comes down to how you're going to attack your daily habits when you're lost a couple of games. Are you still going to go to treatment and attack treatment like you did when you were 5-0? Are you still going to go to bed at night, when you have to, when you did it like when you were 5-0? So it's just all those little things like that. That's what's going to determine which way this season is going to go the rest of the year, and we'll have to see.
Yeah, that bye week couldn't be better timed.
Yeah, need it. I need it too.
Final thoughts, guys, before we wrap it up?
There's so many thoughts, but
yeah,
I think we pretty much hit it. Like this is where we're at. A lot of ball left to play, and every given Saturday you get to play a football game is a gift. So excited to be back in the Jack. We need the Jack.
Yeah, 2 weeks.
It's important. Yep, we need the Jack back. Also,
yeah,
we'll be going
we still
on
need the
tailgate
fans.
tour.
We still need the fans to show up for us. Like that's one thing. As a player, man, as players, when we was in that slump, bro, we really needed, especially when we was coming back home, really need the fans to show up for us so we can get this thing back on the roll.
Absolutely.
Get the swag back.
Get the swag back, bro.
I got my swagger back.
There's still so much up. Go ahead.
If we come into this game where we start winning, get that swag surf going, everything will be a lot better for the team going forward.
Yeah, there's still so much opportunity in front of us, right? Like you go out there and you take care of business and you go 10-2 and you still have a great opportunity for a lot of things ahead of you. So I'm not worried about that. It's just getting back on track and saying like, hey, we're going to regroup. We're going to get back to playing football like we were at the beginning of the year, taking big shots to start games, doing things like that. Like they got everything in front of them. Like remembering that it's 2 games, you lost them. Let's move on and let's go out and win 10 games.
Well, 2 weeks, Iowa State will host BYU. I think that's going to be a really exciting game, just having BYU and Ames. So, yeah, we'll be back. We'll tackle it, and let's hope Iowa State hits that field in a better spot. Thanks for listening, guys. And as always, shout out to Wyffels Hybrids and Farm Story Meats.